We should be hot. I don't know if everybody can see us. Looks like we got it. Give me a thumbs up, guys, if you guys can hear me. And it's a little louder than normal in here, but it is very hot outside in our area. So we do have some of the air conditioners rolling. So if it's too much, we will back them down and I'll just deal with the heat. Perfect. That was my concern because I do have a couple on high and it sounds loud to me, so I was just making sure it's not loud for you guys. All right, I think we got, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna try to keep to a schedule tonight, probably an hour, hour and a half. We'll cover this rig, we'll cover some dual mining, some configurations on that, and then I'll take you guys through this build here that we put together last night. We'll finish last night and kind of been doing some testing with it today just to see what it can do. But we'll go ahead and get started. I figure there's a few people in here. I think we only actually got a couple. There we go, 30. We'll get into it now, and then they can get the folks that are catching up can catch up after it gets posted. So tonight we're going to be covering a Pro Dual build. So it's two of these. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's the AMD Pro Duo. These are the Fiji version, not the Polaris version. So the Fiji, I'll just throw that over there. So it's a pair of those, and I'll try to get the secondary camera. You know, I actually should have had that one plugged in. I don't have it plugged in. Let me grab that one. We'll get this plugged in and we'll take you kind of a closer look for it. Like we had before. I want to get you some close-ups of this build. Now I'll have some dimensions for this coming out. There was a few other things I wanted to try with it, and then get the actual nice build out for you guys. I'm caught on something here. There we go. All right, let's get this in. And I'm going to turn this on to get you guys a little closer look at this. So as you can see there, running an RM1000. It's a little different board. This is actually pulled out of an old gaming rig. We got the stats of this board in there, but essentially just a couple of PCI Express. It's an Asus board. It's got an FX 6300 in it and 8 gigs of memory. Not needed at all for mining, but you know, we wanted something that could fit this build, you know, a little closer, and you know, give it some room back here to where we could run all the power cables for the actual mining. You know, kind of feed up right through here, and then allows the 24 pin to be connected, and then the rest of the power comes up from that R1000 up into both of the Pro Duos at the top. So we did another little kind of build here with, you know, forward pressure mounting for the actual graphics cards to lean up against, and then we mounted both of the coolers, one over here in the front of the case, and then another one in the back here on the other side. So we got one right over here too. Let's see if we can get kind of up on the top of the case build, so you can kind of see them both in there, nice and tied down. Triple 6-pin or 8 pins here. So each of these cards require 3 8 pins. And right now I kind of got it juiced up. Right now, power wise, we're sitting right here at about 980, 990 for this whole rig. So it's really close to this 1000 watt. Now I'm gonna have this thing underclocked a bit, so this should drop it a little bit down below 900, but it's just at the bleeding edge of an RM1000. really switching to like a 1300 G2 or something might work a little better. But the this is a pretty sick build. I'm really liking it. So I'm gonna get you guys zoomed in at on what it's doing right now, just to show you kind of out of the gate. See if we can get that kind of zoomed in. So right now running ETH on Claymore 9.5. So we did update the Claymore piece there. We got, these things are just over 30 a piece. So you can see all 4 cores. These are dual chipped cards. So this one build right here is doing 121 mega hash. And that's just with the little simple configuration. There is no BIOS mod on this. We did not do any BIOS mods or anything like that on this. It's pretty much out of the box, plugged in, and a little bit on the GPU. I'll bring up GPU Z and all that and let you guys take a look at that. You can get these, well, you could get these on the you know, secondary market, you know, months ago for not too bad, about anywhere from $700, $800 you could get these for. Before, now they're just going for crazy prices. I mean, pricing right now across all cards are just on, you know, just really nuts. You know, we had a couple of these. We wanted to do something special with them. That's why we kind of created this build. But just kind of giving you some performance numbers on the Pro Duos. Again, the drivers, I do want to say what drivers we're using. Make sure everybody understands. Right here, this is the driver that you want to use. You want to make sure you turn off the Windows Update when you first install it, and you pull down. These are not the latest drivers. These are 16.3.2. So you make sure that Windows doesn't update the driver. If it automatically updates it, uninstall, remove the device. Stop Windows from auto starting the driver. You can do that using DDU. We'll link that. Essentially, it's the driver removal tool. It'll turn off Windows from automatically updating the drivers, and then you come in and you install this version of driver, the 16.3.2. If you don't, essentially when we first built this, it was only getting about 27 mega hash. Once we uninstalled those drivers, removed a few things, and juiced it up just a little bit, it broke 30. So this driver seems to be the most compatible with it. So it's kind of like the main takeaway on this. If you get your hands on a Pro Duo and you want to do some mining with it, that's the driver right now that is running on the, at least on this one, and seems to be the most efficient. Pull up GPU Z. And we'll put some clearer pictures. Some people have been asking me to take some higher resolution pictures and get them posted on the blog, and that way they can kind of get a better high resolution look of the things. We'll get those taken, you know, pictures taken, and give you the right dimensions on this case if you want to try to replicate this case. Sensor's trying to fire that up. Here we go. So let's make sure that's in the center. It looks like it is. So it's Hynix memory. This has 4 gigs per side, so it's an 8 gig card, but it's considered, you can see right here, it's, even though there are 2 cards in here, it considers it 4 separate chips with their own sets of memory of 4 gig. The bus width on this is crazy big. It's 4096, and there's 4096 shaders per piece there. Here's the current load on the card. You can see the GPU clock memory, which I cannot change, is right at 500. And right now we're running a GPU core clock of 1075. Stock is 1000 megahertz. So it's a slight overclock on it. We can back down some of the power on it and get it down below 900 watts for the whole entire rig, around 850. We'll do that here in a second. We will lose some mega hash when we do that a little bit, but And you can see the temps right now holding at about 55 Celsius. I do have a little fan on low, just kind of supplying air to the middle of the case, but the heat that comes off of both of these sides, you know, you can feel it come through the radiator. The fan kind of comes through. I don't know if you can see. You can get zoomed out. There we go. So the heat that's coming off the radiators kind of blow out both sides. So the fan on the inside blows through the radiator. There's not much more to this build. We'll try a couple different algorithms too with it, but I just wanted to kind of give you guys a look of what a Pro Duo could do with a cool looking build. Let's get ETH closed. We'll try some dual mining with it. We'll see if this arm can handle it. There is a chance that we'll pop this power supply, because it was already kind of running close to it. So this is going to be doing Decred and ETH. Yeah, in a second here. Yeah, it's probably a little too much for this power supply, but we're gonna just see if it handles it. Right now it's at 1135, which is well more than you'd ever want to put on a 1,000 watt power supply for any length of time, if it handles it or it doesn't trip it. We'll probably be pulling the power supply out of this one and just bumping it up to a 1300 G2. I do have an extra 1300 we'll put on this. Decred did take down some of the hash, but you're seeing right here, and the folks that are doing a lot of Decred, I don't do a lot of Decred, but you can see what it's putting out. We'll get need to get zoomed in a little more than that on the. Yeah, not that one. Camera. Sorry, we don't got Jason tonight. Miss BBT's doing the camera work here, so bear with us. Yeah, so that's the numbers right now for both. So the folks that are just joining in, this is the a 2x Pro Duo AMD. It's kind of more for like production rendering type of card, not really a gaming card. I know some people do game with it, but it's dual chip, so it's a one PCB with 2 chips on it. So right now we're dual mining with it. It dropped it down to 28.5 mega hash for Ethereum, and it's getting about 855 mega hash for Decred. The folks with Decred, I don't know if that's good or not. I really haven't been looking at Decred too much, but that's essentially the numbers that we're pulling out of it right now with that. It's, again, the power. I'll pull the power over here if we can. It's well more than what we really want on a 1,000 watt power supply. So it's 1144 with that. What I'll do is I'm going to back down some of the settings and see if we can get it below 1,000 with the dual mine. It's really pushing the RM1000. We really need to put about a 1300 in here, but what this machine's going to end up doing is being a little underclocked to save power. These are the Fiji chips, so they're using a lot. So you can see in here, essentially our settings. So I'm feeding it about another 20 or another plus 30 on the power. Just because it's 0, when you bring up the core clock, anything over essentially stock, it just black screens. It just immediately just does not, it wants more power. So we actually back this guy back down to stock, you'll get a kind of a numbers of what the actual card will actually do stock. And the power. We'll do ETH only real quick. And I'll show you just kind of out of the box, if you took these out of the box, if you're able to get a good deal for them. Get this kind of situated here to where
Video stream seems to be lagging.
the audio stream's lagging. Oh, the video is?
It's green now. It was red.
So right there, you're seeing about 27 stock on these at about 840. 850, somewhere around there. So I mean, you got 2 cards in there, the board, about 400 a piece. I mean, that board at idle is about 45, 50. Yeah, the video should clear up, guys. I was actually mining on the machine as I was live streaming on. So the fact that it was actually live streaming successfully and the machine was mining is pretty boss. You know, BBT over here in the mine, we're always mining, including the render machine. That's actually pretty funny. I'm really surprised it actually was working mining. It was actually doing pretty good. It was doing nice. Ash, I got a 1080 Ti in this. So if you guys ever wanted to do some mining and live streaming at the same time, the 1080 Ti, that can almost do it. It actually was still mining at 702 souls while it was still doing the live stream. It dropped it from 755. Card's pretty amazing. So yeah, base stocks. You know, obviously I got an extra fan on here that's kind of just supplying some air here, and it's keeping the GPU. So the GPU temperatures are holding about 48 to 50. When there's no fan on it, they hold about 62 Celsius. If anybody's wanting to know that, I mean, but you can really feel. I mean, you can almost feel every bit of that 62 Celsius coming off those radiators. The machine gets real warm. These Fiji processors get real hot. So I think you could clock it up a little more. These probably can get up to about 32 mega hash per, but I mean, you probably want some extra cooling on them in some sort, either a fan on top or some kind of extra heavier cooling going on to keep these radiators cool, because that gets pretty warm. And the dual mining, I'll do that with the stock real quick. And then we'll download NiceHash or something. I didn't put a lot on this particular build. I just wanted to kind of go through and show you guys kind of what the Pro Duos could do. We had some questions. Some people had some Pro Duos. I've tried to get a hold of one of the 7100s, which is another kind of professional card, just to see, because I know some people said they had some access to those. What I'd recommend is if you're talking W7100 or you're talking Pro Duos, I mean, hopefully you don't work for like a render company and you're thinking of trying to slip some mega hash out there. Don't do that. That's not good. So the dual mining, roughly 95, almost 100 mega hash on Ether on these. And then 2800 on Decred, same time, so not too bad. Look at some of the. I'm gonna see what this power stabilizes in the dual mine. I'll answer some questions. I see a few folks. Do you have a guide on how to make your mining frames? Yes. If you look at some of our older videos in the very beginning, I'm talking like video 1 or 2. You can. I'm not mining anymore. I don't watch yellow. If you look at some of our first videos, we show how to make that mining frame. We literally are actually producing a whole handful of cases right now. Got one of the folks over right now doing that. And we're going to record some of that and make a 2017 version of that video on pretty much 3 different sizes. Essentially a 6 card, a 7/8 card, and then that kind of split card rig where we have right here, back behind, you probably can't see it too well. But we have that kind of, separation 8 card rig where we have them on each side. This is a little bigger. But really kind of 3 rigs that we're going to cover in that kind of 2017 rendition of that. I already got the 6 card one recorded. It's just producing that video and getting it out to you guys this week. Can you modify the BIOS on the Pro Duos? I haven't tried to. This has HBM memory, which is a little different. It's kind of like the same as the Nanos and the Furies. I know you can do a BIOS modification on the Nanos and Furies. I have not looked into doing it on these. I mean, right out of the gate, with just a little bit of clocks on these things, they're already doing 31, 32. I don't know how much more they'll get out of them. If anything, the BIOS mod, I would assume, is going to take the power usage down and maybe unlock a few things to slow them down, not have to use so much energy. Trying to get these down to a power target of like 300 a card would be awesome. I mean, it's about 150 per GPU. That'd be 600 and some change for this rig. That's really what my target is on this. I mean, we got this build last night. I wanted to bring it to you guys, show you guys kind of what the card could do. And then really comes in that final tweak, and obviously we'll do a more traditional episodic video on this, where I'll do kind of what we did with the other mini rig of this, where we showed you the dimensions, showed you how it was made. I took some of the video of that as we were producing it. So if we can get these down to like 600 watts a card, or 600 watts for the whole thing, rather, not a card, 300 watts a piece, then and still at a decent mega hash, then we'll get that out to you guys. Yeah, we have a buzz. Everybody hears the buzz. There are no BIOS mods for the 1060s. You're not modding the NVIDIA BIOSes. You're just doing some soft clocks on those. Yeah, these Pro Duos are not easy to get. I mean, they were really super expensive when they first came out. I think retail sticker. I don't know if you can zoom in on that. Oh yeah, I do got a little camera on. Miss BBT telling me what? Right there. I was a retail on this guy one time in its life. It does have that HBM memory. Again, like I said, it's a high bandwidth memory is what they call that. Word on the street is that's what's going to be in Vega. The same kind of memory. The clocks on that memory is only 500 megahertz. Oh, I got that still checked on. What else we got? We've been letting this one roll for a little bit. I just wanted to see what the power would go to with just dual mining out of the box. It's about 850. And that's just out of the box. It looks like it stabilized about 104 mega hash, about 24 card if you're not really juicing them up, and you're a little over 1,000 if, or you're at 121 mega hash if you have it all juiced up. we had anything else in this one. You know, I haven't tried Zcash. Intensity 6 might be a little high. We'll see. If it blanks out, we'll drop the intensity a little bit. I want to say intensity 6 on this is a little high. Probably need to go to 5. We'll find out right now if it blinks. Yep. Yeah, it's not, one of the GPUs are not going. Probably have to change that intensity. I'm gonna do a /I for. If this fixes it, I'll tell you exactly what I did, guys. I'm gonna see. I might have broke the driver though. I might have to reboot it. Usually when it blinks and kind of trips out like that, if we're zoomed in, so you guys probably can't see that too much, but if this works, then I'll explain what I just did there using the Zcash miner. We're going to see. It's essentially when you're in the when you're looking at your mining.bat or your start.bat, you can come in here and do a / or a -I space and then the intensity level and kind of not make it as intense. Getting a lot of share files. I think we broke the driver because we're not getting a reading. We're going to give this a reboot real quick. We'll try with lower intensity setting. I'm just going to see what these do with Zcash. They should do pretty decent. It's got some pretty good memory on it. Well, that's rebooting. Let's see here. Can I add video cards to your GPU list? Yes, so I started updating that table. I'll get that published tonight. So I should have all of the NVIDIA cards added to the GPU database. I try to add, if we've tested a card or not, I'm trying to add brand also. So essentially brand, package, model number, and then and when I say like brand, I'm talking like XFX, you know, Zotac, any of those kind of brands that we've tested. So I'm gonna we found essentially a database call that we can have all the list of different brand from, I think it was from Amazon, essentially all the different brands, and if we've tried them, I keep track of them, so then I can go in there and put in there if we've tested it and here's what we got from a power and that kind of consumption. So that list should be updated here shortly. I'm gonna at least have the NVIDIAs out there tonight from a generalization of a platform, so like the 1060s, 1070s, 1080s, 1080 Ti's, that sort of thing. We'll get that listed on the website. Do this. Try 3. Trying Zcash AMD GPU miner 12.5. You can see that Fiji processor, 4 gigs per chip. That's why you're seeing the 4 there. 64 compute units on these cards. While that's trying to figure out its life, I'm going to go and grab nice hash. I know we got the latest. So I'm going to nicehash.com, extracting out their latest version. Let that download and install. And I'm going to let it run its test. As it goes through its test, I'll answer some questions. So think of some stuff that you guys want to answer. I have a ton of email to go through too. So if you guys are in the chat and you're wondering, hey, I sent you an email, I have at least 200 unread. We lose the stream for a second. We'll grabbing something off of this one.
They're asking about the power bar.
The power bar is connected.
Can you use the little
Let's see if we can get the power bar over there.
your windows closed?
Yeah, I know I closed it. Don't know if we can get. So let's see here. Turn this guy on over here. So we got the power bar installed. I need to run network right over here. Essentially, I'm going to hook up network to it, and it won't be in tonight's live stream, and we won't be live streaming tomorrow, because I'm going to the Muse concert in St. Louis. So if you're going to the Muse concert and you live in St. Louis, I'll see you there. But we are taking the wifey out for that. So, but when Wednesday, once I get this connected and stuff, we'll be able to monitor it. And it is connected. And then I also have a meter coming for where I can actually measure, at each of these connectors to see what they're doing. And I think I can actually do it through this, but I went ahead and just doubled down and made sure I had a meter to be able to see the difference between 240 and that. So that is connected, and we will show you guys that. You guys remember that guy? I turn everything off, or at least back here, when I am doing the thing here. That's another one we have not covered this one yet. This is the Rx580 7-card rig. Some BIOSes for that one too. Let's see here. And check this one. Let's get back to this other. Man, that screen is dark right now. That zoom in. It's just the auto lighting on it. It's just dropping it. It's okay. Let's open up nice hash here. There's probably some EULA I probably really need to read. Integrated Claymore miner. That's fine. So it's downloading. This is pretty much the install. We ordered a whole bunch of different RX580s before they pretty much went out of stock, and as they came into stock, they finally delivered. But it's one of those things, like, you guys catch them on Amazon. There's a couple of those snipe websites that you can see them come into stock, and you just grab them as soon as you can, if you can. But we had these ones pre-ordered for a while, and they finally came in. So everybody's out of stock right now. It's nuts. That's why I'm wanting to do that NVIDIA video. I was trying to target it for Thursday, but we'll probably do a live stream Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday is when I'm going to try to have that episode ready for you guys on the NVIDIA coverage. It's pretty much the entire, from 1050 Ti all the way up to 1080 Ti. It's going to be a very, just a dedicated episode, probably less than 10 minutes, but very straight to the point of what you can get, what drivers, and a couple different options on some of you folks that are having the issue with the like 2 or 3 mega hash issue, where you got them going and they're not hashing. I helped a couple people through email, and then I actually worked with somebody that had several rigs that made a pretty nice sizable donation for me to work with them on Skype, and we were able to get that issue resolved. And the way I work with that is, you know, if I work with you guys directly like that and we work through some kind of deal like that, any of that information that we gain in there, because I actually had to go through a discovery with them to try to fix a 2 megahash issue. If we figure that issue out, which we happen to on that Skype call, I take that and I repost that information. So it's like, it's not, once I discover new information, I'm trying to bring it to you guys as fast as possible. So I actually, on episode 15, our live stream episode 15, if you're an NVIDIA GTX 1070 user and you're only getting like 1 or 2 megahash on there, there's 2 things that you can do to try to resolve that, and one of those was what fixed the other person's issue, which was the Claymore version that they were using. Its CUDA 64.dll file was just not working right. Like whatever one they downloaded or copied wasn't right. So I actually made sure that I have a link out there, the DLL file that needs to be replaced. It's out there on that video. It says right there, 1070 GTX users that are having this issue, go to that video, click that link, download that file, and put it into the root of your Claymore folder. So we'll do a timestamp on this part of the video to make sure that if you guys are kind of watching it, then you know to go back to the other one for the folks watching this. But that kind of stuff is, as I work through it, I'm trying to get it out to you guys, and that's really kind of what the website's going to be doing from the troubleshooting guide once we get that updated. But I don't want to wait for that website to be done to get you guys the information. So if I get it, just keep looking at the sites, send me messages, and if we have somewhere to point you guys, we will. Let's see here, settings. We're gonna let this thing just roll through. I'm gonna leave all the algorithms on it right now. That it'll do. Save and close. We're gonna need an address here. I think I have it on this one. Nope. I wanted to say yes to that. Essentially, I'm just grabbing one of the addresses I have on another setup of an older version of the miner. I'm snagging the address out of it. Right there, I'm closing that one. I'm coming into this one, I'm pasting it. And we're going to start, we're just going to want to do some benchmarks. We'll have it start mining after the benchmarks. Gonna start this one, enable benchmark device. I am seeing it's all of them are there. Start. Yes. Start mining. Alright, it's running through it now. Oh, our stream health is not good. I don't know if there's anything else. What else is downloading? We're getting a lot of stream lag here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to see if I can back this stream lag down. See if that is going to fix it. See if we go back to green, and we should go back to green. I had a couple of machines doing some updates I saw in the background, and I think it was saturating the network connection. So I think we're good now. We'll let this get through this benchmarking. So for the folks that weren't watching earlier, random calls, turn that off. So for the folks that are just joining, the Pro Duo is roughly 31 mega hash. Pretty much out of the box if you do a slide overclock on them. That's per chip. There's 4 of them in there. That's 121 mega hash. Real quick recap on that, at about 1,000 watts of power. We'll work to get those down a little bit more. We'll see if this thing can actually get through its test here for nice hash. If it doesn't, that's okay. We'll save that for a different time. But while that's going through there, let me answer some questions. We're at 41 minutes. I'm going to try to make this. It looks like we got some actually written down here. I'll re-look at them. Let's see here. Remote access to.
How do you watch your rigs when you're not home?
So how do I watch the rigs when I'm not? So I usually do simple mining on almost everything. But the rigs, the NVIDIA rigs that I have like the 8 GPUs in, like this one right here where I'm not running Linux, you can use TeamViewer. We'll put a link out there for it. It's free. You can download it, put it on the rig. Somebody was saying you could actually do it from your phone. I haven't done it from my phone yet. I usually have a laptop everywhere I go. So you can remote into them that way with TeamViewer if you have the Windows boxes, and remote manage it that way. But simple mining makes it real simple. Kind of a pun. To manage them, reboot them, reset them, that kind of thing. They also have a device on there, and if you look on simplemining.net's page, he actually has a hardware device that allows them to hard reset remotely. It's actually a little side device that you plug in each of the rigs, and you can get that device and let you go through it. Whoa, got a big super chat. Building a 7 XFX RX580 rig. That's just like this one, Black Crimson Edition. What hash rate can you reach? So this rig here, I'll tell you, I mean, we could, with a super chat like that, I mean, you guys want me to plug this rig in here, this 7-card XFX rig? I mean, we can plug that in. That's an RX580 8 gig. It's set up, it's ready to rock. It's 7 cards. It's on the Asus board. I can plug that in. You guys can see what the performance is if you want to see that. With a super chat like that, it makes me want to just plug it in there for you. This one's already got all the it's the black edition crimsons. You guys, they say yes. So they've already seen this. The people that haven't seen the Pro Duo can come back to this video from the beginning. We're going to stop nice hash because that's taking a sweet time. We're going to shut this one down. So if you missed the Pro Duo at the beginning of this video, we kind of covered the basics of it. Again, I'm going to have a separate episode that just covers this one, probably 4 or 5 minutes, just really getting detailed and close to it. That way you guys can see all the ins and outs of it. And then ultimately what we're able to achieve for the power. Again, this was built yesterday, so I haven't done a lot of testing with it. I know I can get these cards a lot lower power consumption wise. And I want to bring, something that's more refined when it comes to that. I mean, look at this little thing. I mean, are you kidding me? Let me zoom down where they can see this here. I mean, look at this. Here's kind of the front. The radiators. You can kind of see down in it. There. And you can see how it's taut this thing is. This is why I'm talking angled aluminum builds. I mean, this thing ain't going anywhere. It's built like besides the power supply, it's not totally mounted down. But the once I get the screw mounts for the power supply down, this thing is perfectly fine. We're using the thumb screws there for the radiator, each of the radiators there. And of course, as we built this, I kind of took some shots of the build, and you guys will see that in the episode, because just in case you guys want to build something like this, and then the paint that we used, we'll make sure it's on there. All right, we got that guy down. We're gonna pull this guy over. And we're gonna need to pull power off. One good thing about being an ogre is you can handle the tough stuff. So these little adapters are what come with the power bar. And yes, folks wanting to know about this power bar, I will have that as part of the video. It'll probably be like just a little sub segment. That makes no sense to just do a video just on the power bar. So it'll be like, if I do this one or the NVIDIA TI build's probably when we were going to do it, because I'm going to have all the TIs plugged in through this power bar. We'll kind of do it at the end of that just to kind of show you how it was done and the outputs of it. And for those that have no idea what I'm talking about right now, the power bar that's behind us is a 240. It's a 30 amp 240 connection. The power supplies by design can switch between 115 and 240, which is like your 110 outlets to a 240 outlet. It's just literally, I unplug that, I'm going to plug it right into a 110 outlet. So I mean, there was no change on the power supply. It works right out of the gate. You don't have to do anything. Essentially, you just plug it in. So I want to actually use this guy here because I want to plug both power supplies in. I want you to see kind of what the output of this machine is through the kilowatt. So what I'm doing right now is losing the kilowatt, and I will get that plugged in to that end, and then I'm plugging both power supplies into this. This is not ideal. Do not do this at home. We are not professional. But this is mainly just to test to make sure. What I'm going to do is, so I ordered a power piece for the 30 amp connection behind us, and I also got a power strip coming in that has this built in, so then it saves me from having to do crazy stuff like this, like National Lampoon stuff right here, where you have a lot of stuff plugged into this. So this allows me to have both power supplies plugged in so I can see what this is doing. And let's flip this around actually, because I want to plug in the input outputs on this side. We'll leave that there. We got simple mining. This is a simple mining build, so what we'll do is we'll leave it up on the screen here, and then I will patch in the actual simple mining controller. That way you can kind of see the website and what it's doing and the configurations of this thing. This thing is actually a really good machine. It's a real strong screamer. It's got 7 cards. If I had 8 cards, I'd have 8 in this. I'd have to probably build a little bigger rig, but you can see the configuration. I'll bring the other camera in over on it here in a second. We'll get these plugged in, and I'll tell you which. We'll have to get these linked on the page, but I think we got everything plugged in. Okay, and that's juice. So we're gonna flip both of these on. Kill that. We're gonna give this. It's got power. It's got power. That's got power. So we'll get this juiced up. These ones are, looking to see if I have the boxes around here somewhere. I think I do. So yeah, it's, I'm gonna get all the boxes out and then we can go through it. A few of these you guys have seen, a few of the live streams, and then 4 of them you haven't. Let's get this camera over here. This is going through. So these are the kind of carbon fiber look Rx580 8 gigs. That's the crimson. And then we have a couple of the, these are the 2 crimson cards. And then we have one of the superclock SC ones over there. All of them 580s, so there's 4 of the same here, 2 of the crimsons, and then one of the superclocks kind of over there. We want to zoom in on the on this here. Oh, another big super chat. I wonder if there's any BIOS mods in these cards. KC Marshall, thank you very much for the super chat. No, you don't BIOS mod those 1070s. 30 sounds pretty good. If you can step it up to 145 on the GPU and you step that up to about 800 on the memory, and if it's stable, you should get about 31.2. You can see the seven connectors here that we're using risers. I do want to put the M2 one in this, but I didn't have any more to throw in there. Power supply wise on this box, we're using one 650P2, which is powering, actually the 650 is powering these 4 cards. So I got the 4 cards powered by the 650, and then I got 3 of the cards on the 1000 watt, plus the board and all the risers. So I don't know if you guys can see, let's get this in here. This way. So the 1000 watt P2, it's kind of way in the back there. 1000 watt P2, 650 P2. We'll get all the stats on the board for you guys on this. And let me cut that off. The which ones? These are 8 gig cards. I don't know if you guys can see that. Do we need this zoomed in more? Can you guys see that speed? Yes, you'll be able to run 4 1070s on 1000 watts. More than enough room. We'll get this zoomed in a little more. Yeah, it should be. You guys should be able to see it now. So this, I'll get the details uploaded on which cards these actually are. These all have modified BIOSes, and here is the. Yeah, it's those 2. We'll get those added. This is what that rig's running right now from the wall. So we're looking right at 1189 for 205. We can back this down power-wise and drop it a little bit, and I'll show you guys that here in a second. We should be able to get this really close to 1000 watts, if not lower. But we really were looking for 200 megahash or higher on these. So we do have BIOSes for all these. At least most of these cards all have their BIOSes uploaded on the other videos. But you can see more than enough power for the 650 and then the 1000. You guys got any more questions while that thing's cooking? And I'm setting up right now into Simple Mining to get show you guys that screen. Alright, let's see here. It should be able to go here. I'm adding in the Simple Mining screen right now. What we're going to do is we're going to reboot this a few times and change some settings, and I'll show you guys the differences. Let's get this into, here's a source. Oh, it's not authenticating. Hold on real quick. I'm gonna kill that one. I gotta do this a little differently. It's okay. He changed his site a little so the security works a little differently, or it won't auto forward. So I have to do one little thing differently. I have to actually send the session key with it. Copy link address. Let's try this one. Valid login. Alright. He may have really blocked me now. Do we have a... Yeah, super chat. The Rx580 4 gig, $99. We have not tested it. If you guys want us to test a 554 gig, let us know. We will. Sending a new, fresh, authenticated link. Let's see if this one lets us do it. Can I outsmart Simple Mining security? Yes. All right. So we can see this rig right here. I only have a couple on this email running. And we can see in Simple Mining its details. You know, each of the rigs, right now they're trying to keep themselves cool. I usually have separate cooling on them. Fans are only set to about 50%. Each card's getting a little around 23 or 29.3. There's the settings right there. 1200 GPU, 2100 on the memory. We come in here and we change this. And I drop this down to like 24 and save. It's going to send a kill command to this automatically. You saw how I did that. I went in there and I just changed the setting and it sent the kill command. Now it's going to reset. And now you're seeing it step through and now send that 1024 GPU setting to all these cards, and we're going to see what the power is. Oh, I got another super chat. Chris Fox. What's the trick to the 2 GPUs working connected to the M2 adapters on the AZ? The other cards will be fine. Chris, you need to make sure that you're in 2X mode and that you have the mode set to, in the BIOS under the M2 selection, you need to make sure you're set to PCIe. The default mode is not that. The default mode is something else. You need to switch it in the BIOS on the motherboard. And you have to make sure that it's 2X for sure. It should inherit the PCIe settings of Gen 2. I don't think you set the Gen 2, but you have to definitely. So you can see it dropped it a little bit. We went from 205 to 192. Power wise, we only dropped about, I think we're at almost 1200. We dropped almost 100 watts. 115 watts maybe. So we're almost at 1,000. Just a little over, just dropping the GPU by 75 watts per card. But the reciprocation of that dropped that to 192 on 7 cards. So if we bring that back up again, in simple mining when you're here, you can right over here to the gear. It's this little gear here, and I click this, and it brings it up. If you only have one setting here, here's a kind of another key point that I've seen people send me some messages on. One of my GPUs disabled? Yeah, GPU 1 didn't like that setting. They do like 1200 though. So these cards here want 1200 and 2100. Power Stage 2. If you guys have multi-card rigs with different cards, this is where in simple mining where you would go and you would choose a comma and then the next card. So if there was the next one, I'm going to show you how this works. Let's say I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do 10, 25, and then I'm going to do a comma here, 10 or 1200, 1200, 10, 25, comma 21. Let's do 20 to 50 on this one. Just little with that, and see if it can do it. 1200. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then let's say I want them all to be at 2100 memory. I hit save. It's going to push that to the rig. You're going to see the kill command here. We got another super chat here. Why, that's killing here. Listen, what's the speculative thoughts on Vega? Will you be on testing the card in the future? What's their estimated hash rate? I have no idea what the estimated hash rate to be. The only thing I do know is from their marketing propaganda is that they're going to have HBM memory, which is a lot like the Pro Duo that we've seen earlier, which means it's probably going to be a little lower memory speed. No idea on what potential hash rates. I'm assuming that they're targeting to be a little faster than 1080 Ti, so maybe 37 to 40 mega hash if we're lucky, at the same power rate maybe. Just because anytime AMD says that they're lower on power, usually they're a little higher. So you guys see the clocks, you guys seen the clocks push through to each one of the cards all a little differently. We'll see if this actually works for some of these cards. If that 20, well, we didn't push any to 30. So you can kind of see the differences between all the different memory settings that we had. So the first card we had 1200, and that's 29.2. The second card we had 1025 on the memory, and that is 27.3. And then we did 1200, 1200. The one card I think I did the more memory to, or the more speed to, actually is the one that's 2743, I think. We'll see if they settle in a little differently. Yes, the Shockmeister, that UI for simple mining is how you control your rig. It pushes settings back down to the rig. That's why a lot of people like simple mining. And that's why we like it. If I bring that back up, this web UI, put this up here, you can see we're at 1200, 1025, 1200, 1200, 1025, that's the 27, 1250, so the 22, this card right here, the GPU 5 has the faster speed, the 1250, 50 more megahertz, and it's not really that much faster at all. I'll come back in here and let's just try 1275. I don't think this will work, but we'll just try it. 1270. Actually, we'll do 1200 because I don't think the GPU is really mattering. And then we'll do 2125. We'll save that and push that. Yeah, if you have mixed rigs, it's kind of a pain because you gotta know which GPU you're affecting, and you gotta micromanage each GPU. But I mean, once you can get it, it's not too bad. So I just pushed those settings. I'm just pushing it 25 more on the memory, and you can see that kind of pushing the state to each of those. I'll get rid of this for a second. The more voltage you feed Fiji, the lower the performance. Yeah, when we lowered the Fiji performance, it wouldn't run. We'll do some more testing with that though, Sniper. You might be onto something. We were getting 62, or we were getting right at 60.8 on those earlier. So it looks like 2125 is working. We're up to 207 mega hash. Savosky Ethereum right now. Prior to that, it was Feathercoin and Litecoin. We had mined a ton of, an absolute metric ton of Litecoin back in the day, back in script days. But I think Ethereum's finally actually surpassed it in how much quantitatively mined. Belmont, you micromanage more than 4 GPUs with Afterburner, not Precision. Precision gives you kind of a weird error saying that you have too many GPUs. So it looks like that one's kind of stable. I don't know if that'll be a long-term stable. We'll check and see. Let's push... let's see if they can handle this. What do you think? 2150. Now, of course, we'll have these BIOSes out on this video for you guys on these Rx580 8 gigs. Assume you guys were over to pick some of these up. Please do the Rx550. Yeah, we could take a look at it. Oh, we broke 30. Looks like 209 on this. Pretty good runners. Little heat on them though. I'd have to put a separate cooling on this. The Rx580s run a little hot. But it's right there almost at 210 mega hash. There it is. It broke 210.
On Rx580s, he has the 6-pin connected, or he has the 8-pin connected, but left the 6-pin unconnected. Is that appropriate?
I've seen people do the leave one connector. I mean, I haven't personally done it. I'm more fearful that I'm going to burn out something if I am not feeding the correct manufacturer spec power. But I mean, I've seen people successfully do it. Yeah, if I can get one Radeon Pro Duo 32 gig sent to me, maybe I'll do it. I'm not pull. We buy everything, guys. There is nothing in this that you see here provided by anybody. So this is picked up exclusively by us. We purchase everything. We're not cool enough to get AMD's attention to get in the review stuff. I've tried to reach out to them to see if I can get part of the review cycle on stuff, especially like with Vega. And the sad part is, guys, and maybe you guys as a community can kind of help out and try to get some exposure, you know, send messages over to AMD, you know, and help us help you to at least get them to send us a test card. Because the sad part is if these actual mining cards come out from NVIDIA and AMD, they're going to go to like, and I mean, I have no problem with Barnacules or Jay's 2 Cents or Linus or any of those other big reviewers, but you know, that's not their specialty. You know, they're going to essentially plug it in and hope that it works, and probably hit our videos to figure out how to do it, right? So it's you know, you would hope that when the mining cards come out that we can at least get part of that review. You know, and it's not just us. I mean, anybody else doing reviews, Crypto Mind, anybody else that's doing reviews, that community should, you know, get at least a shot at the review cycle. But I mean, the second those things are at retail, I'm going to go out and pick one up, and we'll do it anyways. but you know, the review cycle usually goes out a couple weeks ahead of time, at least to allow people to do some testing under an NDA, so we can do a lot of the testing before, and then at a certain day they'll release it to where we can release the information and have it. It allows us to pre-prep it, that way you guys don't have to wait, and you just are waiting for the NDA to be released. But yeah, we've tried to find out. There's a lot of words saying that the mining cards are being pressed right now, and that they'll be in storefronts by as early as the 28th of June. I mean, it's the 12th of June now, so I mean, they're physically going under manufacturing right now, unless they're using DHL air. If it's on a boat, it's going to take anywhere from 12 to 13 days to get here. So, yeah, if you guys can reach out, help us reach out to AMD and, you know, drop some tweets to them and say, hey, get one over to BBT. We'll get the numbers for you guys as quick as we can. Got a super chat here. Jason M. just got in. Mining GPUs coming out. The end of June right now is the word. Yeah, there's a good chance that, so you guys, it's all about what's the cycle for them to build something. If they're pressing mining cards, even without all the peripherals, and they're going to be daughter cards that are just pretty much in there that you'll use onboard video for them to be able to press and get them to retail, these guys have been working on this for months. I mean, I'm talking at a bare minimum, they were architecting and designing as probably in November of last year. So to get it to press to a sample, and then go to a gold sample, and then to be able to get it to press to get it out to a consumer by June, this stuff's been out there and people have been using them, at least in a test capacity outside probably Shenzhen. So there, you know, there's a good chance at the same time that Vega was being produced that they were working on these things, and we're just hearing about it now. Breakers be tripping. Well, we don't break too many. We don't bust too many breakers. What do you think? What do you guys think? You think I can get push these XFX a little more? Let's do it. 2200. Here we go. So this is the first step. Can it actually get through? Uncheck this guy here. Looks like it's doing it. These XFX are strong runners. This is a good BIOS, guys. We're going to make sure this is out to you guys. They're doing it. XFX. Yeah. Yeah, so you can log into Simple Mining from anywhere. You can actually manage these rigs. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do it on my phone. We'll zoom in. Get to my email. If you guys can see this. Oh, the glare is going to be horrible. Huh? Oh, Miss BBT telling me the most obvious thing is to use my little camera. How about this? There you guys go. Right on the phone. You can see it zoomed in. Right? So you can manage it right here on the phone. Zoom in, over, hit the gear. You have to be zoomed out for the gear. A little Discord chat coming in. Let's check. Let's get rid of that. Let's go through and do. Oops. 22, 25. Save. We push that right to your phone. I'll show you the power here in a second. It's pushing down new settings to it. Can it do it? 2225. Huh?
Kilowatt right now.
Yeah.
Open the window. Just turn it.
Yeah. Here we go.
No, it was right there.
Oh, we're just dumping it. We had one GPU puke. Does not like it. Yes, I am pushing it harder. I've had it before where I dump at 2225 and I go to 2250 and it works. We're doing a doing a software reboot on it. I'll leave the little camera on the kilowatt if I can get the kilowatt to stay put. And we'll put the little camera on the kilowatt. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's like chasing it. Oh, I can't see it like that. It's like the worst ever. We're going to see if this thing can do it. And then we'll back it back down. I pushed down on the keyboard. Well, it pushed them all. See if we can actually handle it. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Now we'll see if it actually holds. 2225's died on me before, but 2250 has worked. And it's working right now. Let's see if it can hold it. It at least got one through. It'll probably die after the one, but we'll see. 31.1. Share accepted, yes. Oh, there it is. We finally had a GPU die. We got one share out of him. All right, let's give this, let's bring this back down to reality. So, you know, that's that kind of stuff when your friend tells you, hey, I got 31 out of my 580s. And what he failed to tell you is that he got 31 out of them one time. So we're going to take the core to 2225 and then 2175 on the memory. So we're going to see let's see what this thing can do. May have froze up on us. I'm going to give it a, since we lost the GPU earlier, I'm going to reboot the rig. Because all I did is just push the settings to it after it already had died. It might have just blown the driver, so we're going to restart it. Right there, and then you can see it right there in the web UI, I'm just rebooting the rig from that actual controller. If that turns yellow, it means it's still responding to the rig, it's just the rig's not running the miner. So it's rebooting. We'll see if it can push these settings there. I'll uncheck this so we can see. Again, for if you're just joining the stream, we are looking at 7 Rx580 8 gigs. They're from XFX. It's a mixed rig with 3 different card types. We'll get them all posted for you guys, and we have the BIOSes for all these also. Not bad. Power usage just over 1200 on 7 cards, a little over 30 each one. ETH go back up to 400? Haven't looked. checking Poloniex right now. Slow. Running slow. Yeah, it's pretty much almost 400 again. Bitcoin's still way low. Yeah, it looks like 1221. It looks like this one's going to hold. I'll probably go well. I've been having 1200 and 2100, and it's rock star stable at that. So I'll probably let it run at this for a little bit and get another 10 mega hash. I don't think we'll get more out of this. Get a little drop here. It looks like we have GPU 4 going down to 20. Let's see if it recovers. Here, while this is running, well, I'm gonna leave that set there for a second. I'm gonna answer some questions. We'll see if this setting's stable for these cards. So if you guys got any questions, and of course we love your guys' super chats, we answer those really quick and first. Again, if you guys are doing some shopping, we're trying to keep up on at least what's available in the bitsbetrippin.com store. We got some updates to the page. Oh, look at that. JD Gaming coming in strong. PC keys freezing up randomly in the air. Auto lock prevents dropping, transport, replace everything but the GPU. Are we talking about a mining rig or your home computer? Well, it could be all kinds of things, but I mean, random crashes usually for a home PC has to do with heat. Something's overheating, or you have some kind of driver issue, or you have some spyware. But I usually tell I'm gonna treat it just like I would a family member on this one. If your computer's freezing up, download Spybot Search and Destroy. Do a quick scan on your machine, make sure you don't have spyware that's freezing up your computer, and then update all your drivers. Run DDU on your driver, on your graphics driver, pull everything off of it, reinstall your graphics driver, make sure all your Windows updates are on there. You do that, and then come back to our next live stream and drop us a line if that fixed it. And make sure you used a can of air on the inside of your computer. What else you guys got? Question: Z170 SoC Force motherboard will support tuning. Don't know about that board. Do not have that board. 295X2s is 4 GPUs. So you're at 6 GPUs there. So it should, as long as it has 4 open slots, or 4 PCI Express slots. Sometimes getting two GPU cards are kind of a pain. What I would recommend, like I do everything, if you're using mixed cards and doing something like that, do one at a time. Jason RM, no, I'm not using EthOS on this. This is SimpleMining.net's OS for the RX series. He has 2 different versions. When you go to SimpleMining.net, he has an RX and an R9 version of the OS. We're using the RX version. I have not used EthOS in a few. We could probably get back and do an EthOS. And hey, let us know if you guys want us to review PIMP OS, PIMP OS. We did one a long time ago. I have not done the newest version. I've been thinking about doing it for them. Just downloading it and trying it out. If you guys would want to see PIMP. TW Vince, you press O in the simple mining and pop out the stats anytime you want. I can press O, RS. Thank you for the super chat and good information for people. I just hit it there. You hit S. Gives you some details there. No incorrect shares. Gives you all your share counts.
You don't have that window up.
Hmm?
You don't have the window of the show.
I'm hitting S here and it's popping up here.
Oh, over there.
Yeah. Saget. I didn't know Pimp did NVIDIA cards. If they do, I'm absolutely doing it, and I may start testing it as early as tonight on Pimp. But yes, we've been thinking about doing it, and thank you for your great name, and thank you for the 2. Yes, I am. I have a Rx580 on back order. The 4 gig version. Micro Center has not had any of the 4 gigs. They've been gone. I cannot find any. So I had to find one online, and I'm still waiting for it. When it gets in here, you guys will see it. Follow us on Twitter. The night that I get that, it's going to be plugged into a machine, and I'll tweet out what it does, and then we'll do a proper live stream or a video on it. I do not know when the ASRock 13 PCI slot board will come out. I know that the one that they had in demo caught fire. I think it caught fire because they had 4 PCIe risers on a single SATA strand. We all know, don't let friends plug 4 GPUs in a SATA riser. What else we got? A few more questions, guys. I'll take questions. I'm going to try to wrap this up no longer than 2 hours and get you guys back to your day. Again, we will not have a live stream tomorrow. I will see if I can get a video out by then. I got a lot of content that I'm going through right now. We'll see if we can put something quick together for you guys for a video tomorrow. But I will be out tomorrow. If you're in the St. Louis area, I'm going to be out at the Muse concert. Maybe we'll do a little little vlog. We haven't done a real vlog video in like 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys liked those. I mean, I kind of did them just when I had to travel out of town to DC a few times. If you guys like those vlog videos, I really enjoyed doing them. But I mean, it's kind of like, you know, getting away from kind of the mining. What motherboard am I using, Jason RM? Right now, this is the Asus 270 Prime. What's up? I need to get the board. It's right there. Let me grab that board. This is the board. This is the board in that machine. The A and the AR are phenomenal. They're a little expensive. They're about 150 bucks. They are worth every penny. I absolutely love this board. It works like every time. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to say that I would replace the vlog with the live streams. I'm just saying if I'm out of town and I'm doing something, we're out, I can get the vlog styles a lot easy. I much rather do the live streams because I don't have to, there's a lot less editing. But they're kind of their own thing. That allows me to interact with you guys and answer questions kind of on demand, and let you guys see kind of the actions that we're doing when we're going through stuff. Some people have asked for a live stream of another build. If you guys want us to do a build live stream where we will just sit there and build a few machines, let us know. You guys can let us know here. We're actually going to be doing some building of machines on Wednesday. If you guys would like to see that on Wednesday, we'll start the live stream earlier versus having the build area prepped with hardware already completed. We can just sit there and answer questions as we're doing a build. Reggie James, you can turn the lights off on the board. Actually, matter of fact, Reggie James, you've given us a lot. You've given us a super chat before, I'm going to show you how to do that right now. How about that? We're going to go into the BIOS of this board. I'm going to show you how to turn that off. We're hitting delete to get into the BIOS. Yeah, I'm going to close my little window. Let me come in here and turn off this other little camera. And we might need to zoom out a little bit. And I will get in here and do this. So if you wanted to know how to do that, you hit F7 once you're in this screen. And then you go over, I believe it's under, not that guy. The storage, I think it's under, you have to bear with me. I don't ever turn this thing off. I've just seen it. It might be on board devices. Right here. So where I'm at right now, if you're from the, I'm going to start from the start screen again. So when you log into your BIOS, you're right here. You hit F7. You go to Advanced. You go down to onboard device configuration, and it's right down here. RGB lighting. You go up here at the top and just go off. Now I like it on, so I'm going to leave it on, but that's where you go to do it. Quit without saving. So yes, we will do, what we'll do is on Wednesday, I believe we're building several, at least a couple rigs. I think Wednesday we're building them. If everything's here, we're going to build a couple of rigs. If you guys would want to see that through a live stream, I mean, it's going to be partially interactive, but it's going to be just pretty much us and several folks from the team over, and we're going to just be building, so you'll kind of just see us go through it. If that's interesting to you guys, then we'll do a live stream on Wednesday with it. Again, I just want to preface it with, if you're logging into that live stream to get kind of real time, kind of what I do right now, I mean, that's not going to be that kind of live stream. It's going to be kind of just us working. It's kind of letting you guys be like the fly on the wall in that process. We'll kind of say that as such, but if that's valuable to you guys, we'll do it. What else you guys got? I'm going to wrap this up here in a few minutes. I'm going to thank all you guys hitting the super chat. You guys definitely make sure you're hitting our bitsbetrippin.com. I'm hoping to have at least the temp site, the new demo site up here soon. I think E3's going on right now. It looks like YouTube updated their logo. I'd be very interested right now if folks at E3, if there's any kind of public service announcement right now with graphics card companies, you know, coming back out to the community. And I'm kind of talking to you guys. As I'm talking, you guys are seeing the screen. I'll zoom out some. You guys see what that thing's doing. Miss BBT had to step out. Kind of get this back here. A few more minutes. So yeah, I'm real interested if the gaming community out there at E3 are actually trying to tackle this issue with the lack of graphics cards, and you know, the folks that are representing NVIDIA and AMD out there, I'm real interested. So if any of you guys on the stream are out there are going to go to E3, it'd be interesting to shoot some info or pictures out to everybody. Check us out on Discord on our bitsbetrippin.com. We have the Discord server out there. I haven't been in there as much as I'd like to be. We'll be trying to get some builds out. But we'll get in there, and then we'll do that live stream on Wednesday with you guys. All right, guys, we'll give it 2 more minutes. We'll answer so many more questions, and then I'll try to get through some of the emails tonight. Access to Discord to find the RX you sent me. Discord's on the website. We need to meet Mrs. BBT. She will be on the... I'll get her on the camera on Wednesday. If you guys check in our Twitter feed tomorrow, I might do kind of a live thing from the Muse concert. There's a super chat right before the end. What's the best way to troubleshoot that rig from locking up when undervolting? Well, if you know that it's happening because you're undervolting, bring it up some, because it's probably you're not feeding enough juice for the cards. You could also undervolt it, but also drop some of the clocks too. You know, you gotta look them out like dials. You got power, you got memory, and you got GPU. You bring 2 up and you drop 1, and you don't have enough output. It's going to either freeze up or give you some weird artifacts. It's all about finding that balance of those levers and seeing what's attainable. It's like what we just did with this rig here, where right now we're at 30.29 each card. I had this configured to run 205 mega hash total at 29.1, but we just juiced it up more. But I was right at about 1100 watts. I'm at 1235 now. So I'm 135 watts more for essentially 7 mega hash. So that's you know, in a relative standpoint, that's kind of an expensive card. You know, 7 mega hash for 135 watts. You know, so I mean, I might leave them at 30 for a little bit just to see if it's stable, but I'll probably bring it back down, because right at 1100 to 80 or 1080. Watts, I think it was right at 1080 watts. I can get this stabilized at 29.1 mega hash, which is 205 total system, and that's pretty decent. That's knocking off almost 200 watts of power. That's like having 200 watt light bulbs on all the time, and that's really the balance you want to find. It's cool to look at numbers of 30, 31, but if you're juicing them up to where you're at 1200, you're kind of hurting yourself, and you're going to feel that in your pocketbook, because that's operations expenses. There's no getting around it. You got to pay your power bill. So you want to try to do it optimally at the most hash rate, and that's a math problem. Rich, dropping 15. Love to take you up on that offer. How many rigs under the potential? Running under performance. We've been emailing 3/4 of the rigs not being able to get up to 6, 7, and 8. Rich, I'll respond back to you. We'll see if maybe we can get you on. If you have Skype, maybe I can Skype with you for a bit and see if we can get those fixed. If you're using this board here, we can get it fixed. It's the boards I don't have that I have a hard time. I mean, the person I worked with before on Skype had a different board than us. And so we had to just go through it and work through the problems on Skype. But I'm trying to get the other boards. Some of the builds we're going to be doing later this week, I got some MSI boards. So hopefully I can start having more detail for you guys on those boards. But the Prime 270A can use 8 cards, yes. You can actually use 9, I believe. Because we were using 9 on this board. You got 2 M2 drives on top of the 7. We are going to do a hard stop at 2 hours. We're at 1 hour and 49 minutes here. Frank, that's going to be on our main website on www.bitchbetrippin.com. We do not have that up yet. I've been trying for 2 weeks to get that site up. I just got to let the developers do their thing. You know, I'm kind of like a frantic product owner trying to get it out there. The developers got to do their stuff. I'm trying to make it very nice for you guys. I gotta let them finish without pressuring them too much. I know you guys got some more questions. We got 10 minutes. Let's see what we can get in 10 minutes here. Let's see if I can get some stuff answered. Everybody use AC. I will have. Hopefully, I have that AC guy out. I'm targeting next week. Hopefully, I can have him out. We can do a live stream together. Hopefully, he brings the instrumentation that I've asked him to bring, which we can actually take a real-time reading of like a rig, like how many BTUs is it putting out, how much heat is it, you know, generating. We can kind of figure out, you know, like what 1 rig or 5 rigs in a specific area. What I've asked him, I gave him a basic use case. I said, you know, let's take 2 or 3 rigs in the space that I have, at least down here in this little studio area, basement area, and what BTU type of output am I going to need from an air conditioning unit to offset that, to keep a static, you know, 72 degrees ambient. And we're just going to do some math here and figure out that. I'm going to do that in front of you guys of that, just from a generalization standpoint. That way, if you're buying an AC unit, you can figure out to buy the right one, not overbuy, and something that's also efficient. Rissy, if you're in the, or Ricky, if you're in the St. Louis area, man, you can hit us up. We're in the St. Louis area, so, too. I mean, Skype works fine, though. I mean, we probably did 4 or 5 Skype sessions with folks. You know, folks that did donations, you know, I try to help them out. I mean, if I'm going to spend several hours with you guys, we'll have to work out something. But, you know, if it's 15, 20 minutes, you guys did a donation on here, I'll reach out to you guys. We'll do a Skype, and I'll see if I can get it fixed. Most of the issues I can fix usually within an hour. And usually we fix them. I mean, it just rarely can we not, or we at least get you partial the way there and it ends up being something else like a riser or something. But most of the time we can get it fixed for you. Oh, we got a 20. Love the motivation team. I appreciate it all. I have some questions later, but I'm running smooth right now. I haven't remembered yet. Absolutely, Daniel. You get problems, man, let us know. I mean, we're trying to expand this. We got several people that are involved in it. Just from basic operations, they have their own stuff. Again, you know, my background's development and developer, you know, working with developers, so I have a lot of folks that are just in it, like you guys, just getting into having their own rigs and stuff, and, you know, just being part of that. So naturally, you kind of get a group together with that, and that's where this kind of came from. And usually I'm talking to, you know, complete groups of people on big solutions. So, I mean, it's kind of natural for me to try to bring it to you guys and articulate it in a way that everybody can understand it and not get discouraged. This stuff is not, it's not forgiving sometimes. Like you're sitting there, it's relentless, and you're getting instabilities and stuff, and it's frustrating. I get it. And you've made an investment and you're trying to get something out of it. You know, we're not doing this, you know, a lot of people that give you any kind of hate when it's like, you know, all you miners and all this stuff. It's the network. I mean, this is a platform for the cryptocurrency. You know, this is each of these things that we're mining, you know, is a base platform. Once larger companies start to really actually put their investments within the private chains into a public chain world, this is essentially the hardware that kind of stuff runs on. So I mean, you're providing a service. So don't get discouraged by it. What else you guys got? We got 8 minutes. So I'm trying to get right now a Radeon Pro WX7100. I have no idea if it's good to mine. I've reached out to try to get one. I know a few people that are actually using them for like work production stuff, and I asked them if I could just kind of snag it, and I'll give them another high-end graphics card for the time being, for I can at least just test it. But I don't have one. If somebody has a lot of them lying around, you're more than welcome. Send me an email. If you feel like shipping it out to us, we'll test it. We'll give you some props on it, and we'll ship it back to you. That goes for the Pro Duo 32 gig too, because we don't have one of those, and I'm not dropping the loot for that yet. Yeah, Ricky, we'll do Skype. I'll send you. I'll respond back to your note on which Skype to contact us on. I'm just watching chat, guys. If you guys got any more, we got about 5 minutes left, and I'm gonna shut this stream down. Again, no live stream tomorrow. I'll see if I can get a video out by then, and then Wednesday we'll do the live build, which is going to be very generalized, and I'll put some stuff out there. Make sure that you're sharing, liking, subscribing. You guys help us by getting this out. Like if you're on forums and people are having a struggle, just drop them a link to our channel. They can kind of stumble through and find it. We're trying to get that information out on the troubleshooting checklist out there on the website too. Yeah, this thing's still at 30. I've gotten some GPUs that are not very stable though. I'm getting red here. So I think I'm going to drop that back down to where I had it 1200, and these are all showing 30, but we're getting some stale shares. Do another S here. Well, no rejects, so we're just getting some issues. So I'll probably drop this back down to 1200 and 2100 on the memory. I don't see any more questions, man. If you guys, thanks again for the super chats. Check this website out. We're going to be parsing back through the website right now and relinking any available cards out there. We'll spend probably an hour doing that to make sure you guys can get some. Any other cards that are available. You guys can go back and look at this. The stream on this, the Pro Duo, for the folks that missed it at the end, we had the Pro Duos running at about 30.4 mega hash per side, almost 31. If I juiced it up a little more, a little over 1,000 watts for both cards, I can get 31 out of each of them, which gives me essentially 62 mega hash per card. That's a total system of about 122, 124 mega hash for the dual Pro Duo cards. And here, I'll slide this over before we get off here. While that's running, I'll show you guys kind of a closing build for the folks that missed it. This was the Pro Duo build. If you guys can see that or not. We had this running earlier. You see both of the cards in there. Got both of the coolers. Mounted with thumb screws, both water cooled. It's a cool design. We'll have a separate episode, just really kind of narrowing this down, like a 4 or 5 minute episode covering it. But that whole thing was about 124 mega hash. Yeah, I'll wrap up in the last minute. We're going to be doing some more 1060s. That's what's probably going to be, I think that's what we're building on Wednesday. There'll be some 1060s and some 1070s. So we're going to be doing a couple builds with those. We are going to do on the NVIDIA video that I'm actually producing. separately, which will be an episode video about 10 minutes long. We're going to cover every NVIDIA card, the 1050 Ti, the 1060 3 gig, 1060 6 gig, 1070 8 gig, 1080 and 1080 Ti. We're doing one video with all those in there like a matrix. So, and it'll show you power consumption, hash rates, dual mining. I'm trying to cover the whole gamut in one video. It's about 10 minutes. Garrett, thanks for the closing there. 20 or 33 bucks. Best pull for 112 mega hash. 8X Rx580s. Do not solo mine with that. I use Ether mine for something like that. Alright guys, I'll stay in the channel for a little bit. Come see us on bitsbetrippin.com. Hit the Discord channel. Get logged into Discord. We'll try to answer some questions there too. Thanks for tuning into the stream, guys. We'll have this one hot pressed up. Thanks. Thanks for that, man. Thanks for the closing. Thanks for the stream.